Just a quickie, I've started some seeds. So in this tray I have, ooh, it's dark, sugar snap peas from Real Seeds. Now I'm pre-germinating them, so in damp kitchen roll. And these are Mange Tout from Lidl's Oregon Sugar Pot, sugar snap peas. Those ones are some more Vespa field beans, and I'll grow these for, not for food, although that would be great, but I'll grow those for seed beans for overwintering next year. And outside we have, outside in the next room, we have some early onward. Oh no, these are Marifat peas. Oh yeah, they are onwards. And these are main crop peas, so. And they are, look, blue robes. And they are on the windowsill. Plop. So I'm pre-germinating these, and then what I'll do once they're all sprouting, I'll put them in the right way up this time. And I'll get them into the, those ones I'll take down the allotment and plant amongst the other field beans. But these I will put into the guttering to do the sliding process when that happens. So this is going to be today's job. I'm going to be sowing some more seeds. So all of these are herbs or lettuces for salads, and I'm going to be growing them. These ones on this side will be initially planted into the greenhouse. The ones on this side will be planted outside in tubs and containers, but with a view that if we get bad weather approaching, I'll pop them in the greenhouse or cover them with insulation, fleece, whatever. Yeah. So all the herbs, there are some herbs that I'm missing that I would like to get. Garlic chives is one of them. I've got chives, but I'd like to get garlic chives. So there we go. So those are what I'll be planting. Borage, I'm going to be doing a lot of 65 seeds. So I'll plant all of those because I want to use borage as a sacrificial plant scattered around the allotment to hide the smell of things like carrots and other and alliums, so that it keeps the bugs at bay. And obviously comfrey is always going to be a good fertilizer for me, being natural. So I don't think there's anything else I need to worry around. This was a pound pack. There's not a lot of seeds in there at all. For some reason, every so often my tap decides to spill out some water. Right, so they're going to be all done. And I'll get in the... I'll show you the tubs as I'm sowing them. Okay. So this is going to be the garden area. The larger of these will be for salads. And then some of these will be for instance, I'm going to put beetroot in one of these, radishes in another one. So I've got some local food. That will have to go back into the greenhouse to be monitored and watched because it's got no holes in the bottom. That's going to be for mint. And then I don't know what I'll grow here. Probably a mess. As you see, these irises just won't go away. Oh! Hello, prowler. Yeah, so all of these I can cover or put into the greenhouse if the frosts return. Oh, do you want to go in? No, I'm out here. How can I let you in if I'm out here? Go on. There we go. Bye. Right, let's get on. Now what I'm going to do, this has got a mixture of the compost that I brought back from the allotment, and I levelled off some poo. little crapper. So I'll get rid of that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some of the compost I've got in the greenhouse. So I'm going to get some of the compost I've got in the greenhouse and spread it over the top for the seeds sprinkling. And then the rest of the compost will be for when I actually get these out and start planting them, which won't be long, probably later this week. I'll get on. Now I'm going to do everything in batches again. So I'm going to get rid of the poo. So I'm going to get all of the compost on the top, wash my hands, get ready, bring out the seeds and do all those. There's, as I say, there's as you see, there's tubs in here for other herbs and things that will stay in the greenhouse on the lower shelves. Really pleased. Everything's coming. Oh, you come back out. All right. Yeah, everything's coming on. Still got lots of pots and things I can use. So no shortage of pots. Need to sort the compost and get some of that down to the allotment to be mixed up with the other compost. So much to do now that the weather's coming on. I feel so much better. Right, moving on. Bird song. What? Go for it, cat. Drag your nuts. Right, this is as far as I've got. So I planted some lettucey and salady things in there, and there and there. That's rocket. 2 tubs rocket. One of the other tubs I'll put a little row of radishes in, just so I've got like a salad assortment here. So what I've got, I've wiped down the ends of the drain guttering, and I've put the tape over end. Now this is like it was a cheap black duct tape, but it never really did anything. You can see there it's already pulling off some of these things. It's rubbishy stuff. So I thought I'd waste it on here. I'm not too fussed if it pulls away. The idea is it just holds the I might put a longer bit on there. It just holds the dirt from falling out as you put the compost in. You can always put some more tape around it at a later date. I mean, you don't. I can't afford obviously closed ends for all these guttering, and you don't really want that anyway because the water won't disappear. So it needs a place where it can flow out to stop it drowning the seedlings. So what I'm going to do, I'm now going to batch fill all of these with compost, and again it'll be a mixture of the seed and compost, and then I'll start planting. Now some of them will be left because that's going to be peas, you know, like the main crop peas, the other peas, the mange tout and the snap peas. So they'll all have their own rows, and then there'll be parsnips, carrots, radishes. I might put, you know, like radishes in the smaller ones, spring onions, just things to dot around. I won't do them all. I've got another 2 lengths down at the allotment. I'm not going to do them all because what I want is to have what do they call it, where you continual sowing. So you do it at different stages of the season so that they mature at different rates. So there we go. So next time you'll see these, they'll be batch filled with compost. So I've walked down to the allotment. It's drizzling with rain off and on. Just make sure I don't step on any plants here. They're all over the place. Oh, drops in the pond. Haven't seen any frogs spawn, but the pond level has gone up and down quite a lot. So whether it's hidden or underneath the water level or the frogs haven't come out here yet, I don't know. Right, so what have I done in the meantime? Well, I've got rid of the bug farm that was here. That was mostly roots and sticks. Some of it's in there. Some of it's in there drying off to be used for fuel. That's the wood part. And then I put a couple of bits in the Daleks, the Dalek compost bins. So, and as you see, I spread a bit out that I couldn't pick up. for some reason my knee, it's ever since I slipped over on the ice, my knee has been really painful, and it's really inhibiting my movement. I limp everywhere. Right, so next job, in between cutting up that pile, most of this is wood, so this is going to go into the wood shed at the end of the bins, because there's no more room in the compost bins. This will all be cut up and stashed in the bin for burning. All the smaller bits will be composted. But yeah, that's about where we are at the moment. So hopefully we'll get some froggies, deaths, and some newts and some toads and all the other wildlife that we want to see. And very soon we'll start planting. Probably one of the first things will be I'll put out the beans. As you see, I've taken down all the sticks. I think there's 3 broad beans that survived the winter. Yeah, oh well, 3.5 maybe. 1.5, 2, 3. I'm not really counting that one. It looks a bit dead. So I'll clear all this up, get it all weeded out, level it off, and then replant them. The other beans, field beans I'm planting, are all going to go in here, and I'm going to leave this growing field beans, but that's not to eat unless I get a surplus. That'll be for next year's green manure, like these. So give it another month, and then I'll trim all this down, chop it all up, and then start planting the peas and beans for this year over the top. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to go home. It keeps on and off drizzling. It's not very pleasant. But yeah, this is going to be a big job weeding all this, but I'm looking forward to it. Catching up with some of the other plot holders who have been preparing theirs. I mean, he's sprayed. Very sad. I don't like seeing bare soil. It should be doing something called covered. Give the worms something to do, something to eat, like this. This will be breaking down slowly, and then when I'm ready to plant, I'll rake all this up, and it will go into the poo bin. Right, job done. Away we go. I'm amazed at how fast my hair keeps growing. It's only until I do these little videos I actually see it. It's Wednesday, the 22nd of March. It's nearly 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been down the plot today quite a bit, doing various things, but it's been so busy down here that I haven't filmed. But let me show you what I have been doing, and give you a look at a few interesting things. Let's switch you around. Here's the pond. Woo. So the first thing is, the last few days I've actually been down. I've actually had my burner out and I've been having a fire, so I'm getting rid of some of the wood bit by bit. All good fun. Right, so that pile that was there, that was all roots. That's now all underneath that big pile of wood there on the compost bin. And the next bin along is the leaves, and I've got rid of one of the big bags of leaves that I have in there, and I'm going to let this break down a bit, and then I'll put the other one on there, because there's another big bag under here as well, an even bigger bag. So that should reduce over the next few days, and then I'll have that. This I'm going to move to the end of that bit there, and then these 2 bins I'm going to leave here, but I'm going to fill with the soil from here, and then I'm going to put carrots in them, or I might put carrots in one and cut and come again salad in the other. Oh, I've left out my thingy. I'll go and put this away. What was I doing with this? Let me show you. There we go. So I've been weeding. That's the first bed. This will be for the beans and peas that I've got in, well, I had been growing in the greenhouse. They'll come down. So what I'm going to do is peas and beans will go here. It's peas here and the broad beans here, and then the rest of the field beans that I've got germinating over there. This I'm going to trim down, and this will be where all the runners and other beans go. I'm going to put a couple of this stuff. I'm going to make it into rings. I'm going to put one here and one here, and this is going to be for snap peas and mange too, and I'll put those there. And I've actually been given a I'll tell you about that later on, but basically what's going to happen here, I'm going to build a contraption for doing runner beans, and then there's going to be like 4, maybe 6 pyramids of sticks to make the French beans and the other climbing beans. So it should be quite exciting. I've been weeding up here. I've done this bit. I have to get on my hands and knees and do that bit. When I took off the green scaffolding net, the birds, look at it, they've ripped my cauliflowers to bits. Mean things. I put these over, and that seems to have stopped them, even though they're open-ended. But I'll definitely have to remember that. I need to help weed this, but I'm doing this a bit at a time because it really does play havoc on my knees. I did this earlier, weeded all along here, and I've got some more garlic, shop bought garlic. This is shop bought along this row here, this other row. This is the white, but this is shop bought. So I've got some more shop bought to go in just to see how it comes on. Now I'm not fussed if it doesn't bulb up, because I quite like the idea of the green garlic and so on and so forth. So that's the state of play. A little bit of weeding each day, enjoying the pond, enjoying the ducks when they come down. They come down it nearly every day now for a little bit. Oh. This is the cover for the thing. I'll put that on in a second. But look at these beautiful snowdrops coming out. Look at them, aren't they gorgeous? They're huge. I don't know the species of these snowdrops, but they're absolutely lovely, aren't they? Look. And each year they're going to double up and get bigger and better. And this isn't all the bulbs. There's more spring bulbs to actually come through. Now I've noticed this weed coming up, and I don't know what type of weed it is. Anybody's got an idea what that's going to grow into, but it's all over the place, and I know it's a weed. And there's lots of thistles on this part, so I've got a thistle digger upper back at the bungalow, so I'll definitely bring those down. Otherwise this will be inundated with thistles again over the course of the year. So these are all coming up, which is lovely. Look at the native daffodils, aren't they absolutely gorgeous? They are tiny but beautiful, absolutely tremendous. A longer horn, I guess you're saying, and so tiny and fragile. Now I've got 3 up at the moment. There are more coming up, and plus I can see the native bluebells coming up. Not so much the snowdrops, but I'm just so pleased that these have come up. They're absolutely gorgeous. Really, really lovely. I'm not sure what those are. The hyacinths are over there. Those are nettles. Yep, so everything's looking, I'm really enjoying this beautiful weather we're having down here. Absolutely gorgeous. Helicopter above us. Oh, that's interesting. There must have been mixed daffodils, because they're not all the same daffodils that I planted. And look at out that front. Look at it. That's going to look absolutely gorgeous. That's going to be a mass of daffodils and flowers. Not so much. You can see the little ones at the bottom. I forget the name of. Absolutely gorgeous. And then when the daffodils are finished, there's going to be, of course, during the summer, lots of wildflowers. This is where all these weeds are, and I don't know what they are. There's millions of them. There's literally everywhere, all down here. So I've got to find out what they are. I don't want to kill off anything that's not a weed, but I'm pretty certain they are a weed, because I've not planted anything like this down here at all. Oh, there's the duck telling me to get out of the way because he was coming in for landing. Yep, so that's what the state of play. So over the next few days there'll be more weeding, planting, because I've got to get those broad beans into the ground very quickly. So planting. This will all then be prepared, ready for the peas. Now the peas are germinating already, so they're all getting their tap roots forming. So I'll need to get those in the ground at some point. And then later on, when stuff is going to be coming out, I'll sow down here, I'll sow in between. I might pull out a row of this and sow obviously all in between there. Sow down here, sow down here, sow down there. What I'm not going to do is very long runs. I'm going to do very short runs. But what I am going to do is lots and lots of beetroot. I'm going to put a whole surround of beetroot, because apparently slugs don't like beetroot, so they sometimes won't go past it. An experiment, who knows. I won't bother with the... I might do, anyway. Now I'm hoping to get a... I'm leaving this free for the time being. I'm hoping to get a polytunnel come homemade greenhouse type polytunnel. More news on that later on. When the time comes to plant out, I'll strip all this down. And again, I'll play it by ear. I want to do companion planting. There's obviously a lot of things to put up, such as sweet corn and all the brassicas. Now I've also been given enough to make a row of potatoes, and I didn't want to plant potatoes because I'm not a fan of growing potatoes when they're so cheap in the shops, but I can't refuse somebody when they come and say, here's some potatoes, grow them. So what I may do is I may just put them in here to start with, just do a row down here, just do a row along here, and then see how we get on. Somebody else said they're going to give me a few of theirs as well, because I said, oh no, I can't, I can't afford those CPR. I will give you some. No, it's not the point. But you can't refuse, can you? You cannot refuse. People are so kind. I think some of these have taken, some haven't. But yeah, these heathers don't look as though they're taken, and these don't look as though they've done too well either. But we'll see, we'll see. That was a this was meant to be dead, but you can see it's come back to life. This was one from a neighbour, a gooseberry, but you can see he'd thrown it on his pile, and he also threw the other one as well. I got down here. But there's more of that seed. I don't know what it is. I know it's a weed. I just don't know which one. Right, hang on a sec. Oh, all the way down, all this way. Yeah, so this was the other one that he had that he threw away, but this one looks dead. There's nothing growing on this one at all. It looks dead, but we'll see. I'll leave it in. You never know. You never know. It just looks as though it's not going to get anywhere. Right, that's it for now. More soon.